Welcome into the Gridiron Grind. It's Crew 3 and Jimmy G. Back another week, and we were hot last week on your bets. I hope everybody tailed us.
Love it.
Sure. Because we were a combined 7-0 in the NFL alone, and we
Yep.
were 11-5 in our picks last week. So we were hot coming off, and we got another. I think I got 10 bets, and you got 15, 25 bets between
Yeah.
the two of us. Not
Yeah.
sure if there's
It'll
any
be
crossover, but actually, there's one. I know we have one that's the same.
Mhm.
Um, but anyway, we were hot last week. Let's build on momentum. I'm back to 50% on the season. Jimmy, just 2 games under, but I got a feeling we're going to stay hot.
Yeah, I'm about to blow past that and go ahead and get back on the good side of the fence.
All right. All right. So we'll end that in our show today with our picks. First, let's talk college football. College football playoff, the 12-team playoff round one's in the books, Jimmy. And all the favorites won, all the home teams won, and they all won big. Uh,
Hmm.
Notre Dame, 10-point win. Penn State, a 28-point win. Texas wins by 14, and Ohio State, I don't even know what the final ended up being, but it was a blowout.
Yeah.
Surprised? Are you surprised at all by all the favorites and all the home teams winning like they did?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I wish that I really wanted the ponies to win. I thought they'd cover. Just tough to compete and continue to hang in there. They had the tough turnovers, two pick
Yep.
sixes there. I'm going, that's just it's tough to overcome turnovers as it is in sports, much less turnovers that lead to points. Because anytime a team can score points off turnovers, you're probably going to win the game. And yeah, it's tough. It was a good season for Rhett Lashley and the Ponies, but
Yep.
yeah, I wasn't surprised. I guess I was surprised at the large margin of victory. I
Hmm.
just thought you'd be able to keep it closer.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I figured they'd be able to score more points. And they had that chance early and they missed on the conversion on fourth down. I thought I expect a little bit more out of their offense. The weather might have been a bigger factor. It was really cold. It's in the 20s there in Pennsylvania. So that might have been a factor as well. I was also a little surprised Ohio State dominated Tennessee to the extent that they dominated. I loved your Ohio State -7 bet. I took it on Coffee with Creta. I really felt like it was a great bounce back game for Ohio State, but I
Mhm.
felt like it was going to be competitive at least for the first half or three quarters, and then they'd pull away. But it was over from the start. What was it, 28-0 maybe first quarter,
Yeah.
something like that. They dominated, and I tell you what, Ohio State, they play like that 3 more games, they could be holding a trophy. Uh,
Dangerous team, Trey. They remind me a lot of that year they snuck in with Zeke.
yep,
They hopped in and got in
2013.
and went. And I'm going, Ohio State still has, I mean, one of the best teams in football all
NFL
around.
receivers, the receiver core is the best receiving core in the nation.
Receiving core is good. They got two stud running backs. They can play
Yep.
defense. I'm going, Ohio State's a dangerous team, especially with a chip on their shoulder. Um, Like I said, I think probably the three most impressive teams in college football, not in any certain order, are Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, and two of them have got to play each other. So I'm
Well,
pretty excited about that. Last
all
time
three
they played each other was amazing.
all three of those teams are on one side of the bracket. So
Yeah.
that might be, like you said, we're about to break these games down. That Ohio State Oregon could be. It was a great game the first go round. It could be the game
Mm.
of the playoffs uh, coming up on January 1st. Let's break it down. So we got 4 quarterfinal games. We're to the final eight, the Elite Eight in the football playoff. First was December 31st, Fiesta Bowl, Penn State, Boise State. Penn State's favored by 11, over unders 52.5. Now, Boise State has one loss on the year, and that was to Oregon week 2. They lost by 3. Ashton Genty still had 192 yards rushing. Penn State's defense it's probably better than Oregon's. They don't have the offense that Oregon has. What's your takeaway in this game, Penn State and Boise State? You think Boise first 11 points is a pretty big number.
Dude, 11 points is a big number, and I thought 13 and a half was a big number. Your Longhorns covered that. If Penn State finds a way to bottle up Jainty, I think this
Yep.
game gets out of hand, just like we saw with SMU. I think before we know it, Penn State could be running away with it. Um, it's a big ask. Again, arguably the best player in college football doesn't get the Heisman. Boise State, they're going to have something to prove. But again, Penn State coming off big win and kind of showing, hey, we're still one of the best teams in college football. We're one of the blue bloods, the upper echelon, and all the newcomers come on and bring it. So this is going to be another good game and another game where I think Penn State's going to have to keep the pedal to the metal. They're going to
I
have to keep the
agree.
foot on the throat.
I
They
think,
executed well and took advantage of turnovers against SMU. But if they let Boise State hang around, JT's going to probably put them away. So if I'm in Penn State, it's got to be over quick.
yeah, I can see that both teams trading blows. I can see some points being scored in this game. I think Boise State's just a little bit more disciplined than SMU, and that might go in their favor. Also, it's in a dome, so the weather is not going to be a factor like it was for SMU. I think Boise State it's going to be the best defense they've played all year. Like I said, I think Penn State's defense is better than Oregon's. Not the best team they've played. Oregon's better than Penn State, I think. So it's an interesting matchup. Again, I don't think Boise State has a chance if they can't get Ashton Jeanty going in the run game. If Maddox is a solid quarterback for Boise State, but if he's got to beat him by himself, I just don't see it happening. Penn State's too much. So the key there, can Boise State get Jeanty going like they did against Oregon, where he had 3 touchdowns on 192. So I think that's the matchup for Boise
Mhm.
State. And then can Boise State's defense do enough to limit Penn State? Penn State's going to score some points for sure. It's just can their defense do enough and have Ashton Jeanty go off? Second game of the quarterfinal for the playoff is 3 games on New Year's Day. First one's the Peach Bowl at noon Central Time. It's Texas versus Arizona State over in Atlanta in the Peach Bowl. Texas favored by 13 and a half. Over unders 51 and a half. What are you thinking, Texas, Arizona State? Biggest spread of this second round.
I think this is a game that a lot of people uh, kind of think, well, they did it once, they can't do it again. Arizona State, I think Arizona State getting the bye I think they need to reseed it. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I think Arizona State's going to get punched in the mouth. I think this has another chance to be a blowout game. Texas, again, I didn't think they'd win by double digits, and they did. And I think that was a better opponent than what we're going to
I
see here.
agree.
Clemson was coming in hot. Arizona State, of course, conference champion, but Texas, again, one of the top 3 teams in college football, arguably the best complete team, and they're on a mission. And Arizona State's in the way. So yeah, I expect this one to be. I don't think it'll be a blowout right away like Ohio State, Tennessee, but I think the final score. I think Texas got the better team, and like I said, when you have the better team, eventually at some point in the game, it's going to flip, and you're just going to out athlete the other team. When you have the
Yeah.
better players, they take over eventually, and that's what I expect to happen in this one.
I agree. I think of it's Texas. If Texas plays their A game, I don't think Arizona State, even if Arizona State plays their A game, I think Texas would probably still cover. Arizona State's going to definitely need Texas to have an off game on offense. Texas did give up some passing yards to Cade Klubnik and Clemson last week. Cade Klubnik threw for more yards than the Texas defense had given up total in a game all season. He had more passing yards than Texas even allowed in a game. They'd never allowed like 350 yards in a game this season, let alone just passing yards. So I don't think Arizona State has the ability to do that through the air. So their best player is Cam Scatterbo, the running back, and he's fun to watch and he's really good. He's hard to tackle. When it comes down to it, though, the Texas offensive line is just dominant. Arizona State's defensive line is very small. I expect Texas to be able to push Arizona State around. And if it gets a chance where Texas feels like they might be losing control of this game, kind of like there was Clemson in the fourth quarter when Clemson made it a 1 touchdown game, Texas will just lean on them, just like they did Clemson
Mhm.
and run the ball. Blue broke off a 77-yard touchdown run. That's what Texas will be able to do in the fourth quarter if this game's a one-score game. They'll just lean on them, shrink the game, suffocate them, and just run it down their throat. Probably would be my guess if Arizona State's able to keep it a fourth quarter game. Texas, I think, just has too many options, too many weapons. Their defense is too good. I think Arizona State will have some success on offense. I've watched some highlights earlier today. They're probably going to move the football and they're probably going to score some points. I mean, I can see them getting in the 20s, but the thing of it is, I think Texas offensively, they're going to dial it up and they're going to score some points. I can see this being Texas getting in the 40s, Arizona State gets to the 20s. I just don't think 20s will be enough.
Mm.
Texas scored 38 last week. They look pretty good outside of like a couple of possessions. Um,
Yeah,
so
and
I
Klubnik had a lot to play for too, kind of
did.
the rematch against Ewers, he beats him in the state championship game. There was a lot, I'm sure Klubnik
A lot of
he'll say,
motivation.
yeah, he wanted to beat Texas, didn't go to Texas, and so he's wanting to beat them, and so yeah, a lot of motivation. I think Klubnik played a lot better than he probably should have.
He played a high caliber football game. He's had an
Yeah.
actually pretty good year throwing the ball. He's got some weapons that'll all be back next year. Um, I, Arizona State's best receivers out for the year. He didn't play in the Big 12 championship game. They were still able to score a lot of points because Cam Scatterboot can really run the football. He's a difficult test for Texas, but a lot of his yards are yards after contact. That's what I noticed watching his highlights today. He gets a
He's
lot. He's
built like a
hard to tackle.
refrigerator.
He's hard to tackle. Texas does a pretty good job of tackling and really getting behind the line of scrimmage. If Texas is able to tackle and get hats to the football, that'll make it tougher on him. I do expect him to have some success. I just don't think it'll be enough. Texas will be too much, and that's kind of how I see that one playing out. The next
Yeah, and
one,
big backs like that, you got to get them going east-west. You can't allow them to get north and get that
right?
momentum going. Like you said, penetration in the backfield is going to be important because, golly, man, like not that he's Jerome Bettis, but any of those, that's always kind of the prototype for the big back is Jerome Bettis. You get the bus. If you hit him before the line of scrimmage, you had a good chance. But if you let him get a couple yards momentum, you weren't going to bring him down. It's kind of the same with Scatabo. You got to get him going east west, and when you do get him, when he is able to get north south, you got to hit him. You got to put multiple people after him, and they got to make it tough on him because, like I said, if
Yep.
he's able to get going, it's going to be a long day.
I expect the Texas defensive line to have a big game and get some penetration in the backfield and get a lot of probably. I would anticipate Texas trying to get to double digits in tackles for a loss, just trying to get penetration. Um, and see, Arizona State's offensive line is old and big, so their offensive line is good. Their defensive line is small, but their offensive line is big, and they're all fifth, sixth-year players. So that's why I think Arizona State will have some success running the football. I just don't know if it'll be enough. The next game, 4 o'clock window Central Time, Rose Bowl, Ohio State, Oregon. This was a 1 point game back on October 12th. And if you remember, Oregon's ahead one, Ohio State driving, and Will Howard with no timeouts takes off running and slides. Clock expires. He needed probably 10 yards to get into field goal range, but he didn't have any timeouts, and he slid short. Clock ran
Yeah.
out. It's a good game. Ohio State trying to build off of it. Oregon hasn't played since the Big Ten championship, so maybe some rust issues. I don't know. But this is going to be a heck of a football game. The first go around was, I kind of anticipate another thriller just like that one.
I do too. I expect you, like you said, you got Ohio State wanting to come in on revenge. Now everybody to them is Michigan. Every
Yeah.
team they play is Michigan. I expect Ohio State to come out and just start swinging early, haymakers. And I don't mean they're just going to go for the home run ball. I mean, they're just going to, every play, you're going to get the most you can out of every player from Ohio State because they're mad. They're mad at that first time they get beat. Oregon, like I said, like you said, the mental mistake there by Will Howard. You could tell when he slid and he's kind of looking around and then he realizes what he did.
Yep.
Um, then we said the loss to Michigan. Tennessee goes up there and they tried to, they were going to orange out the horseshoe and make it Knoxville to the north, and they got a whooping.
Yeah,
And
it did.
I said Arkansas beat Tennessee. Ohio State's going to drum them.
And they
So
did.
that happened. But yeah, I expect Ohio State to come out with a purpose. Just firing on all cylinders. I'm so excited for matchup round two, for round two of this matchup.
Yeah, Ohio State favored by 2.5. The over-unders 55.5. The over hit last time, both teams in the 30s. I expect this to be a super entertaining game. I think both offenses will be clicking. I think this is going to be another high-scoring game. I'm super excited for it. I don't know who I'd give the advantage to. I think it's going to be a good game. I mean, Oregon's undefeated. What a terrible draw. You're the number one overall seed. You get a first-round bye, but then you have to play Ohio State round two, where teams like Texas gets Arizona State and Penn State gets Boise State. So that's a tough draw to be the number one seed to have to play Ohio State, who could be the most dangerous team in the tournament right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that I don't want to play them. I wouldn't want
No.
to have to play them. You know, that first round game, Tennessee came in way too overconfident. And I mean, like I said, Ohio State's got some dudes. Ohio State on paper, I thought was the better team. So yeah,
I picked
Oregon's not
them
going to
back in
overlook them.
October. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yep. That'll be a great game. And the nightcap, it's a late start, 7:45 Central. It's a Sugar Bowl New Year's Day. Notre Dame versus Georgia. Georgia favored by 2. Over-unders only 43.5. Both defenses are very good. Georgia playing their backup quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, who came in the second half of the SEC championship game against Texas. And don't forget, they were behind when he came in, and he came from behind, led them to victory in overtime. So the kid can play. He's got some wheels. What can Georgia drum up with game planning for him for it's going to be just shy of a month. You know, they've had 3.5 weeks to prepare for this. What kind of game plan can they drum up with Gunnar Stockton? And is Notre Dame, are they for real? They haven't been tested all season. They lost a home game to Northern Illinois early. They did look good against Indiana, 10-point win. They got a very good defense and they run the ball. I don't know how much I trust Riley Leonard in a tight game against a good opponent like Georgia. And Georgia has the pedigree. Kirby Smart been there, done that. He's won 2 national championships, played for another back in 2018, was it, when they lost to Alabama. Uh, Georgia's got the pedigree. They got the athletes. They got the backup quarterback. Does Notre Dame have enough? Are they good enough to do this? Is my question.
I think they are. I have a pick in this game, and I think this, the backup quarterback comes in, and Texas, I mean, it's say, well, Texas wasn't ready for him, but when you're a team like Texas, okay, you've got a scouting report on this guy. You may not have a lot of film at all,
Right.
but you kind of know what to do. But it was, he's a mobile quarterback, and that always gives any team fits. Especially if you're not used to really practicing, week in, week out against it. Notre Dame's ability to run the football is going to be huge for them in this game. If they're able to move the chains by running the football, and they're kind of like Texas. They like to get up on you and then just mash you, just
Yep.
lean on you, and just punish you the rest of the game. And like I said, I'm excited for this one too because I think we're going to see. I think Freeman. I think Notre Dame. Georgia's probably got the better athletes. Notre Dame may have, especially without Carson Beck on the other side, Notre Dame may have just about as same, maybe a slight advantage as far as the overall team, in my opinion. And I think this is going to be a really good game. We're going to see just how good
Yep.
Stockton is,
I think that
and
Georgia
time off.
time off could really hurt Georgia as well. I'm interested to see the rust factor. Some of these teams
Mm-hmm.
played a week and a half ago, and some teams haven't played in almost a month.
Yep.
I tell you what, as a Texas fan, that Georgia defensive line, when they're motivated, like the 2 times they played Texas, Texas couldn't run on them. And you've seen how Texas has been able to run on other teams. They ran for 292 against Clemson, and Clemson's got a couple of NFL defensive linemen. But when Georgia's motivated, they're hard to run on, and that's Notre Dame's recipe for success is running the football. We'll see how motivated that Georgia. If Georgia's going to go for the compete for a national championship, it's going to have to come from their defense and get enough from their offense. So if Georgia's defense is up for the task, I think it could be a tough game. And also, who do you trust more in a big game? Kirby Smart or Marcus Freeman? Kirby Smart's been there, done that. Marcus Freeman had some terrible losses last year to like Marshall. He's lost to Marshall at home, and he's lost to Northern Illinois at home. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, who do you trust in a big game? I think
Yeah,
it's
and that
obvious.
probably, like you said, the nod for me probably goes to Kirby Smart in that the only caveat is, that backup quarterback is how big is
Yep.
the stage going to be? He came in and was able to get it done in the SEC championship game, but now it's the grind, Now you're in the playoffs, and like we said, the rust factor. I think the rust factor is going to be big in all these teams because not only are you off, but now your mistakes are magnified just like we talk about in big games. It's the playoff, and some of these, Arizona State, first time in the playoff. How are they going to do? And here's another one, Georgia. Okay, well, how are they going to do backup quarterback? And Yeah, I'm excited to see the offensive line of Notre Dame. We got two schools. Georgia can just put out defensive linemen.
Hmm.
Notre Dame on the flip side just churns out offensive linemen. So we're going to get to see. I'm excited for that matchup in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. So quarterfinals is here. College football playoff coming up December 31st, and then 3 games on January 1st. Pretty excited for it. The first year of the 12-team playoff, and we'll see how that goes. Let's get into NFL a little bit. Quick segment on the NFL before we get to our picks. We had NFL on Christmas Day, and I tell you what, the viewership dominated. I saw a stat
Yeah.
today. Each game, there's 2 games. Each game had over 24 million viewers. If you're the NBA, you got to be upset right now because you've always tried to own Christmas Day. It's in the
Mhm.
middle of your season. Everybody was watching the NFL. 24 million viewers apiece. A total of 65 million viewers watched the NFL, and I thought it was a good product. We watched it at my family Christmas. Watched the Chiefs beat the Steelers, and then the Ravens just dominate the Texans. I thought that was fun having NFL on Christmas Day. I hope we get more of it. What'd you think? I mean, neither game was that good, but I loved having NFL games on Christmas Day.
I liked it. Like the NBA, like you said, I think LeBron made it. I didn't read the article, but I think LeBron is not happy about
He
it.
was not happy. I
Um,
saw that too.
I go, I mean, again, I'm with you. I liked it. I thought, but I love sports, so
Yeah.
it don't really bother me. Um, Jeff, I'm the NBA. I'm a little worried because, like you said, Christmas was their thing, man.
Yeah. And they had like
They've
five or
owned
six
Christmas.
mega games.
Yeah, just to be just kind of just. Oh yeah, I forgot about the NBA. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're just a diehard
Kind of
NBA guy,
we were. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just sort of. Oh yeah, I forgot about the NBA. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I love it. I love football. I love basketball too.
Yep.
But when during football season, I really just like to focus in on football.
Yep.
And then once that's over, then I go, okay, I've been keeping up with the basketball here and there a little bit, but then I really get into it, especially college, because March Madness hits. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, a couple big games this week. Of course, NFL, they had, of course, Christmas Day, Wednesday. They got a Thursday night game. Then they got games all day Saturday, and then a lot of games Sunday and then Monday. So they got a lot of NFL this week. The Cowboys, they're going to be at the Eagles. Cowboys out officially out of the playoffs. They did win last week. Big
yeah, we
win.
did.
They're going to play the Eagles. Eagles are a 7-point favorite. Over under is only 39 and a half, but it was just announced earlier today. CeeDee Lamb is out the rest of the season. The line really didn't move, which I thought was a little shocking. I thought the Eagles might bump up a few points. Um, but I checked about an hour after it was announced. Line hadn't moved. Eagles favored by 7 in Philadelphia. The Eagles have everything to play for. The Cowboys playing for pride. This one could get ugly for our Cowboys.
I would have said that same thing too, except for watching us play. And this is what we talked
With
about. I
heart,
said,
we
man,
did.
on paper, I go, dude, you're either in one or two boats talking about the draft pick boat or the I don't care win the games, whatever boat. And I'm sitting here, I'm personally in the draft pick boat, but I find myself kind of just, I do end up rooting for the Cowboys. It
Yep.
doesn't by now we've won 3 games we shouldn't have. So our drafts for me, the draft pick thing is done. So I'm going, okay, forget it. Let's just win. Like at this point, let's play spoiler. And Dallas has done a really good job of doing that. I mean, we're one botched onside kick away
From still being a
from
chance in the playoffs.
yes, I'm going. So on paper, like I said, once we got back healthy on the defense, we were good enough to beat some teams, and I predicted we'd do it just because, again, I'm like, dude, we're good enough on paper to beat some teams, and if they're not going to play Trey Lance, we know what Cooper Rush can do. He takes care of the ball. He's not dynamic. He's not going
Yeah.
to throw for
Gives you a
400
chance to
yards
win.
and 8 touchdowns, but yeah, gives you a chance to win, and that's what we've been doing. So yeah, if I'm Philly, I'm going in and I'm trying to, again, we talk about not letting teams hang around. The Cowboys this year are one of those teams after Dak Prescott goes out. You do not want, and they've gotten healthier. You do not want us to hang around because we will end up beating you,
Yep.
spoiling stuff. So yeah, in this game, I think is going to be closer than Philly wants it and expects it to be.
Could be. All right, let's get into our final segment. The picks. We got, like I said, we got 25, 10 for me, 15 for Jimmy. I got
I went
six.
ahead and added an extra one.
Oh, so you had 16. All right, well,
Six.
let's get to it. I got 6 in college. I'm gonna start. with the Pinstripe Bowl on December 28th. I'm going to go Boston College +4 against Nebraska. I like Boston College here. Nebraska, I think, is a bit overrated. I think Boston College is going to play hard, and Bill O'Brien trying to get a bowl win his first season with BC. So I'm going to go Boston College Eagles +4 over Nebraska.
Like it. I'm going starting with the Liberty Bowl, Hogs versus the Red Raiders. Give me over 52. Arkansas leads, or at least last time I checked, led the NCAA in transfer portal entries,
Yes.
24, 26-ish. Taylon Green will be there. He'll be playing. Uh, we have a couple receivers, but a lot of our linemen are gone. Um, and Tech, I haven't really seen what they're doing as far as transfer portal, but I know
They have the
Taylon
number
Green.
one portal class signed so far. Of course, those guys can't play, but
Right.
they
I'm
got some
going,
bids.
I don't know if they've had a lot of mass exodus of dudes, but I'm going over 52 in this because I think these players, they're going to be putting stuff on film, one, to try and go somewhere, or two, try and get a spot on the team for next year. So I think you're going to see a lot of people going out and trying. Like I said, Taylor Green's dynamic quarterback. So I think he'll do his part. Tech does theirs. Give me over 52.
All right. Pop Tarts Bowl, best celebration of any bowl game.
Yeah.
December 28th, Miami taking on Iowa State. Cam Ward is playing for Miami. I think he's going to go out with a bang. And I like the Hurricanes here. Give me Miami -3 over Iowa State.
Same bowl, same pick, same reasons. Miami, I think Miami's going to play one of these games where they go, guys, we felt like we should have been in the playoffs. We're going to come out here and just donkey stomp Iowa State. Like you said, Cam Ward go out on a bang, and they're going to toast that Pop Tart.
Yep,
Fantastic job of marketing by the Pop Tarts people.
absolutely.
Give Miami -3 as well.
Alamo Bowl, also December 28th. Colorado, BYU. Colorado, Shadir Sanders is playing. Travis Hunter's playing. Enough said for me. Those guys aren't playing to lose. They're playing because they want to win, showcase their talent on a big stage. So I got Colorado -4 over BYU.
Same bowl, different pick. Give me
Oh, okay.
BYU +4.
All right.
Uh, I know Shadur and Travis Hunter are playing. Um, I'm probably going to be wrong about this. I'm just kind of playing the odds because I'm going, okay, these cats are young. They've got the NFL's ahead of them. They know how, is Travis Hunter going to lay out for these balls and stuff like that? Like, is Shador really going to hang back there and risk getting hit and getting hurt? High profile players like this that play, to me, I think in the back of their mind, there's oh man, that next hit might get to them. So give me BYU +4,
All
keeping
right.
it close.
Head-to-head
That
battle.
everybody's on Colorado, so I'm just going to take BYU +4.
That is, most people are on Colorado, so it's a public play. Okay, Fiesta Bowl, December 31st, Penn State, Boise, over 52.5. I think Boise's going to score enough points. I think Penn State's going to have to keep scoring. I see this game getting probably to the 60s. I could see a 31-28 type of game, or 34-31, 34-28. I think both teams are going to score. Give me the over 52.5, Penn State and Boise State.
Armed Forces Bowl, Oklahoma Navy. Well, okay. Armed Forces Bowl. I'm going with the Armed Forces team. Give me
There you
Navy
go.
+3. Navy, one of the best teams, top 25 team in college football, OU up and down. And I mean, it's in the name. It's the Armed Forces Bowl.
Good
Duh.
call.
Big Navy. I think this one's a runaway. I don't even think this one's going to be close. I think Navy's going to come out, and you're going to look up and go, dang, man, 21-3 halftime type thing, and it's just going to get worse from there. This might be a rocking chair game. Give me
Could
Navy
be.
+3.
OU has the second most portal entries behind Arkansas.
There you go.
So, Peach Bowl, January 1st, Texas, Arizona State. I think Texas is going to score a lot of points in this game. I think the over hits. I think Arizona State, like I said, is going to have some success, but I think Texas is going to score. Texas, I think, will score over 40. So give me Texas, Arizona State over 51.5.
Same game, same bet, same reasons. I think Texas, like I said, there's going to come a point. There's going to out athlete Arizona State. Big back like Scatabo, they're going to have to They're going to try to get him going. They're going to be feeding him a lot. He's going to be wore down. I think Texas flies the ball. Hill, was it Anthony Hill Jr.? I
Yeah,
really like that guy.
good.
I think he and Scatabo are going to become best friends by the end of this game, and I think the over hits as well. So give me the same bet.
Okay, my last college bet, Rose Bowl, January 1st. Ohio State, Oregon. Again, I think this is a lot of points. I think it's a rematch. The first game was 38-37 or something like that. It was high scoring. So I like it. I think it's going to be in the 60s again, at least, maybe even 70s. It's going to be a lot of points scored. Ohio State, Oregon, over 55 and a half.
Same bowl, same pick for the exact same reasons, and give me Ohio State minus 2.5. Uh, actually, go ahead and buy the half point minus two. Actually, you know what? I don't even think it's going to matter. Never mind. Scratch that. Keep
Okay.
me Ohio State 2.5 because I think Ohio State, like I said, is on a mission. And I don't care what color and what name is on your jersey. They're seeing Michigan. All they're seeing is that maize and gold, maize and blue, excuse me, and they are going to punish anyone in their way. Oregon, I think the rest. We talk about the rust from the rest. And I think this is going to happen. You got a high flying team like Oregon. You think, oh, give them some time off, da da da. Ohio State's in rhythm. I mean, buddy, their train is rolling, and they're about to roll through Oregon too. So give me over 55 and minus 2.5 for the Buckeyes.
That's all my college bets. How many college ones you got
Got
left?
a couple more. Give me Las Vegas Bowl. Give me A&M minus 3
Yeah, I like
over
that. I like that.
the Music City Bowl, Iowa and Missouri under 41. Iowa's defense and Missouri's just not that good. Give me under 41 in that. ReliaQuest Bowl. I think this is my last one. No, I got two more. ReliaQuest Bowl, Alabama, Michigan over 43. I think Alabama's going to run away with this, and that over hits. And looks like Tech, Arkansas. Da, 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 da. Yep, my last one's the Sugar Bowl. Notre Dame and Georgia. Give me Notre Dame plus 2.
Ooh,
Yep, I'm taking it. Notre Dame plus 2.
okay.
Backup quarterback, their ability to run the football. I think that backup quarterback's going to do it. It's going to be almost a repeat of Texas, Georgia, with Georgia playing the role of Texas. This is the first time. I think backup quarterback is going to put Georgia's defense in a tough position against Notre Dame. And I think Notre Dame pulls this one out. So give me Notre Dame plus 2.
All right, NFL bets. On Saturday, the Bengals -3. The Bengals, I think, have a slim chance at the playoffs. They're favored in this game, which is a little shocking to me, given that the Broncos have been playing so well. Both teams have a chance at the playoffs. I think the Bengals are favored. Kind of stinks a little bit to me. Like, why are the Bengals favored over the Broncos? Well, they are at home. I like the Bengals here, so give me the Bengals -3 over the Broncos.
Chargers, Patriots. Yeah, that is kind of surprising because Denver's Bo Nix. Bo Nix, I
It's
think,
having a
is
good year.
will be around for a while. Chargers, Patriots under 43. Patriots just can't do anything. Chargers are pretty much right there with them. Chargers, I think, are going to win the game. So take for that what you want. But for me, the play is the under 43.
All right, on Sunday, Eagles Cowboys. I think the Eagles dominate the Cowboys. Give me the Eagles -7.
I stayed away from that game, man, because I would go with the Cowboys and then, gun to my head, go with the Cowboys. I'd probably be let down. So that's probably a good bet. Titans, Jaguars, give me Titans -1. I
Yeah,
was going to take the under in this, but I took, last week, the Titans played Colts, two awful teams, and they went 38-30. So I'm going, okay, well, I think the Titans, I think the over hits in this, but if I'm going to place a bet, I think the Titans are the better team and they win it by 1.
Sunday afternoon, Packers at the Vikings. I think the Vikings might be a little overrated. I've been saying that for a couple weeks. The Packers are hot. So give me the Packers +1 going into Minnesota, getting the upset.
Same bet, same team, same reason. I think this is a game set up. This reminds me of Lions Bills. Everyone's excited to see it, and I think it's going to be kind of surprising. It's in Minnesota. Everybody thinks Minnesota is going to dominate. This is perfectly set up for the Packers to win, and I'm going to ride with it. Packers +1 for me as well.
All right, my last one, Sunday Night Football. The Falcons at the Commanders. Commanders favored by 4.5. I think the Falcons keep it closer than that. I like the Falcons +4.5. Falcons trying to win the division, and I think they got a lot to play for. The Commanders riding high off that big win over. So I got the Falcons +4.5 over the Commanders.
Like it. Like Michael Penix Jr., man. That guy,
Got the
I was
win last
watching
week.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Win and he knows one speed. He reminds me of Michael Vick. You know, Michael Vick, another lefty, had no
Yeah.
touch.
Oh yeah.
Everything was just a rocket coming off of his arm. And Penix kind of reminds me of that. And I'm like, it's a good problem to have, you know. But I
Dude,
thought it was funny because it reminded me of Vick watching him drop back and then just wham. He's just, oh, what is that? A 5-yard cross? Wham. Oh, what is that? A 30-yard, post? Wham. He's just slinging it. Love it. Raiders and Saints, two terrible teams. Give me
yeah.
under 30, under 38. I don't think either team can do enough. Heck, the Saints didn't even score last week.
No.
Uh, so yeah, give me under 38. And for my last one, Lions 49ers, give me Lions -3. I think the Lions get it done, man. I think
Yeah. They're playing for that
they
number one
learned from
seed.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our picks. Let's do the rundown. First, we'll start with Jimmy, his college bets. He's got Arkansas, Texas Tech over 52, Miami -3, BYU +4, Navy +3, Texas, Arizona State over 51.5, Ohio State, Oregon over 55.5, Ohio State -2.5, Texas A&M -3, Iowa, Missouri under 41, Alabama, Michigan over 43, and Notre Dame +2. For NFL bets, Jimmy's got Chargers, Patriots under 43, Titans -1, Packers +1, Raiders, Saints under 38, and Lions -3. For myself, college, I got Boston College +4, Miami -3, Colorado -4, Penn State, Boise State over 52.5, Texas, Arizona State over 51.5, Ohio State, Oregon over 55. And in NFL, I got Bengals -3, Eagles -7, Packers +1, Falcons +4.5. That's our show. What is that, like 26 bets between the two of us?
Yeah, probably
And
26 winners.
yeah, could be 26. Well, we got one head to head, Colorado BYU. But we were hot. Last week, we were combined 11-5, and we went 7-0 in the NFL last week.
Hey, maybe we'll just push that BYU bet,
Maybe it'll be a four-point win.
Maybe a 4-point victory for somebody.
Could be. So anyway, that's our show. Thanks for listening. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and has a great New Year. So this will come out Friday, December 27th, and it'll come out early that morning, and it'll get you through all the games through next Thursday. We'll record next Thursday, the 2nd, and then the next episode will be on the 3rd. We'll talk about the college football playoff games, the NFL slate that week, and then get ready for the Final Four and the last week of the regular season in the NFL. So still some ball to go. Thanks for listening to the show. Check us out, Gridiron Grind. We're on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, Gridiron Grind. Search, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So we appreciate you guys listening. Everybody have a great, and we'll see you next year. See you in 2025, our next episode.
See you, buddy.
Later, Jimmy. We'll see you, bud.
Yep.